Welcome to the Botany Bistro, where we're serving up bite-sized botany for you to munch on as you savor the science of plants. My name is Mary and I'll be your botanist today. Our menu includes an exploration of plants in the Passifloraceae. I'm very excited about this bistro, although I guess I say that about all my bistros. They're all so wonderful, but this one really does have a close hit to my heart. And that is because I have been enamored with these flowers for many years. When I was living in Seattle for a short time with my aunt, I came across on one of my neighborhood walks this beautiful fence that was covered in passion vine. And I took a picture of that and ended up actually turning it into a tattoo. And every time I look at it, I am reminded of that beautiful structure of that flower, the very unique scent that it puts off, and then I'm reminded about the amazing tropical varieties that I saw when I was in the Bahamas as a grad student doing some work through a class that I took at Miami University from Oxford, and just noticing all of the different intricacies of these passion flowers and the amazing range that they hold. So the fact that I'm able to appreciate a plant here in Ohio and also in tropical regions is very unique. Here at the Civic Garden Center, we have a beautiful passion flower vine trellis that is in our herb garden, and it's actually the perfect time of year to be talking about passion flower because the fruits are just about ready to eat. Now, sometimes you might have heard these called maypops, which is their common name, and they may pop under your feet, but they'll definitely pop in your mouth when you enjoy this tasty treat. You'll be able to open up those fruits and see these beautiful covered seeds that are in this little juicy packet. And yes, you can go in there and just eat the whole thing, enjoy those little crunchy seeds. You also could squeeze those and just enjoy the juice, or you could harvest the leaves and the vines and you could make a tea out of that. It's interesting to me that this plant has really made an impact on me throughout my life, not only because of its beauty and that inspired me to get a permanent image of it on my body as a tattoo, but now I find through my herbalism friends that it's actually very good for insomnia and anxiety. And yes, please, I'm gonna need that a lot in my life to be able to have a good night's rest. And I'm just thrilled that I'm able to enjoy this incredible plant that is in our landscape and so abundant. Now, I do have to give a word of warning. Passion flowers can be a little bit aggressive, and so I did plant some of these in different areas that I have lived, and they will not hesitate to come right up through the sod or area that you did not expect. Lots of little starts, little shoots that come up. Of course, they're enjoyed by lots of different wildlife, and so they'll also help spread the seeds around throughout the season. So make sure that it's in a place that you want it to be, especially before it starts growing into its mature state, because it can get quite large before it's time for harvesting. This plant is also a perennial, and so that root crown will survive through the winter usually, and so you'll be able to enjoy this plant year after year. But make sure that you have a trellis, as it has tendrils similar to our friends in the Cucurbitaceae, which we did a video on previously. And so those tendrils will grab onto things and climb up high. It has a pretty long growing season, and so you'll also want to make sure that it's in an area where it can fulfill its full mature state, which means that maybe it's protected from wind, maybe it has a little bit of a microclimate, whether it's on a wall that can provide additional heat and that wind protection, or it's just in an area that you know is going to have lots of wonderful sunlight and stay frost free as long as possible in our area. I'm not the only one that really appreciates these amazing intricate flowers with their wonderful scents and their very unique shapes. There have been lots of explorers over the years and pollinator friends that enjoy this plant. This plant is the host plant to several different species of butterfly, specifically the Gulf fritillary and the zebra longwing. And this was another connection that I had because I have always loved zebras as a child. And growing up, I found out about the zebra longwing and was like, yes, please. I love this striped butterfly. The larva will actually feed on the passion flower leaves, and the passion flower has a toxic compound that the caterpillars can eat without harming themselves, but makes them toxic to other predators. And they signal their toxicity with these very bright colors, these spines that they have when they are growing, saying, do not eat me, I'm not going to be tasty for you. And then they're able to pupate and mature into a butterfly. Now, something interesting that I also learned was that these butterflies, the female butterflies, will begin to pupate and then they put off a pheromone. And so male zebra longwing butterflies will sniff it out and they'll find out where these girls are pupating. They'll kind of hang out around the chrysalis and wait for that female to mature before mating with her. And then after a mating, they'll be able to produce eggs for the coming season. And I have seen more than just butterflies on these beautiful flowers. I also see these bees doing their literal rounds, dancing around these flowers. So if you have passion flower or space for passion flower in your home landscape, I highly recommend finding a way to incorporate them, just because their medicinal uses and their aesthetic value is so high. So I just want to celebrate all things passion flower. I hope that you have a wonderful time harvesting, maybe making some snacks with those wonderful fruits, or even some Maypop wine if you would like to get a little adventurous, and keep us posted. The family of Passifloraceae is not limited to passion flowers alone. There are 27 genera and over 750 species that belong to this family. And so you can find lots of diversity within this plant family. We would love to thank floridawildflowers.org for use of their amazing images today. We're grateful that you joined us on the Bistro today. Stay tuned for more Bistro to go.